It's time for Crappie University. Join some of America's best crappie fishermen on the only show devoted exclusively to crappie fishing. You'll learn new techniques to catch America's favorite panfish in all kinds of water. No matter where you live, you and your family can catch crappie on big lakes, smaller ponds, and in creeks and rivers. Crappie University will teach you tournament-winning ways from the top crappie tournament pros. And you'll learn where to go as we visit some of America's crappie hotspots. Crappie University is the official show of Crappie USA.
Hi, I'm Whitey Outlaw. Welcome to Crappie University this week. My host this week, co-host is Charlie Brewer with Charlie Brewer Sliders. We're gonna be fishing on Neely Henry in Gaston, Alabama. We're gonna be shooting a few docks as you see behind us, a few treetops in the water, and some logs, and just different things that we think we can pick a fish up. And we're gonna be using some ultralight tackle today and some fly rods and stuff from B&M, and a lot of Charlie Brewer sliders. And we made up some jigs this morning, me and Charlie. He showed me how to take these Charlie Brewer sliders and cut them down, and we're gonna shoot docks with them today. So maybe y'all will get to see what we're doing, and later on in the show, we'll show you how we cut them and glue them on. And Charlie, tell us a little bit about the prototypes that you got coming out and some of the stuff you got working.
Okay, well, basically we've got our 2-inch slider grub here, which I think a lot of people are familiar with. We've got a prototype. We're cutting this down to about a 1-inch grub, and several different reasons. Really, for the crappie fishermen, there's times when you need a smaller grub, so we'll have a smaller, maybe 64th ounce head, 1-inch grub, same tail action as we've got now. But instead of, good for crappie, but also be good for perch, brim,
right,
and other fish too. So just be a little something different to offer the fishermen. We hope to have that out probably mid to late summer this year, and hopefully it'll work real good, especially shooting these docks. It looks like it does.
Tell us a little bit about the slider, how it got developed and how long it's been on the market and stuff.
Well, this crappie slider was developed by my dad probably about, I'd say over 25, 30 years ago. He was always an avid bass fisherman for years and years. Finally tried to learn how to crappie fish, and he found out it wasn't quite as easy as what he thought,
Right.
But when he first got involved with crappie fishing, he talked to a lot of local people, and they kind of told him what to do. Said, what you need to do is buy a lot of jigs, fish around heavy brush and structure, and said you're going to break off a lot of them.
Yes,
so
sir.
he went to the lake and fished. And first of all, he'd get hits, and he'd try to let them run like he does a bass. Well, he found out that's not what you do. You need to set the hook right off the bat.
Get him out in the water quick.
And but he did lose a lot of jigs, and that night he went home and started experimenting. He was always experimenting and kind of making up his own grubs and trying to work on a head that had a little bit of protection, the hook anyway, so he wouldn't hang up as much in the brush. So I don't know, through hundreds and hundreds of trips to the lake, he finally developed what we got now, the crappie slider, which is just a 2-inch grub with a little vibratel actions, real simple type lure. The head we've got with it was designed to go with that grub to make it weedless, and if you throw it into brush and structure, you can, if it's lightweight and you've got the hook buried into the grub, it's Texas style rigging, it'll climb right over that brush, right over those limbs. And usually when a crappie's there, as soon as you come over a underwater branch and it drops off the other side, that's usually when he hits it. But if you got a place where you got heavy cover, just give it a try and see what happens. It works well.
Later on in the show, we'll get a close-up of showing how to rig that and cut these other baits we were talking about.
Sure will.
But today we'll be using some ultralight rods. This is from B&M here. This is the Sam Heaton Signatures. This is new on the market this year from B&M, and I believe it'll work fine, but we're going to put it to the test today. Let's go get some fish.
All right, let's go get them.
I know back home right now on Santee, they own this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Logs and stuff right off the river channel.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them be in 30 foot of water. That fish would be 10 foot deep, and sometimes might be 25 foot on that log.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Great fun, unless you hang up all the time. Check this out, the Slider Crappie Grub. It's designed to be fished deep in the middle of heavy cover without hanging up. The specially designed head slides over brush. There's less aggravation and less lost baits. The Slider Crappie Grub is super soft with an action vibratail to trigger strikes. Perfect for casting, trolling, and vertical fishing. Lots of great colors, too. Fish the Slider Crappie Grub and put more fun into crappie fishing. Now let's join our host, Whitey Outlaw, and his special guest.
There you go.
Got him. There you go.
Little old fella. He's little, but he bit. He swallowed that bait too now. I mean, he took it all the way down.
Yeah, he wanted it.
All the way down.
Oop, there's a hit there. Almost had a double here.
They small. I wish they were a little bigger, but I can't control the size of them.
Well,
He went right back on. I seen him shoot right back.
yeah, maybe some bigger ones under there. I just had a hit right here.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. There he is.
You got him?
Oh!
He come off. It's a brim.
It's a brim. Bluegill.
I wish them 2x6s didn't go all the way to the water right there. You could shoot on there, but they go all the way down. Ain't no way to get on it except with a fly rod.
Mm-hmm.
There you
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a little bit bigger than those, but it ain't as big as some of them I'd like to see. He swallowed it too. They take that little old bait and they just inhale that thing. But you can catch a lot of fish off docks like this when you get on them. The size usually runs a little bigger. Usually if you catch big fish on the dock, that's what you're gonna catch. If you catch little ones on the dock, that's pretty much what you're gonna catch.
Our time.
Must be done got a lockjaw on us, you reckon?
I don't know. Throw out a few more times and then switch baits. Oh!
Got him?
A bluegill, I'm pretty sure. That's bluegill. There you go.
I'm a crappie man by trade. No matter what size. Now, before we go today, I want you to put us on camera and show us how you rigging this thing.
Okay, I'll do it. First, I've got our 2-inch grub here, the viper tail, and then we've got our hook and head here that was actually designed to match this grub back 25 years or so ago. And it's a, this is a little 32nd ounce head, and it's got an offset in it for Texas rigging. So basically, I take this little head and our grub, and I'm going to, just like a Texas rig, a worm or other things, I'll just take this hook and bite it into the nose about 1/8 of an inch or so, take the grub and slide it down and over, and then I kind of push the grub forward and bury the hook into the grub, so it's something like this. And that way it'd be weedless. Usually when I put that hook in there, to soften it up more, I'll push it all the way through and then back up the plastic over it, but you want that tip to be buried just beneath the plastic. This head was designed to go with that grub. So that's a crappie slider that was developed by my dad, Charlie Brewer, Sr., back 25, 30 years ago.
But that's been a good product and a good bait on the market for a good many years. But you rig it weedless. I use it long line trolling pretty much all the time. We don't rig it weedless, but we rig it with a 1/16 ounce jig head.
Yeah.
And we'll stick it through just like you got, but the hook is showing, and a lot of times we'll stick it through just about a 1/2 inch at the top, where we get more to grub up. With that tail, it gets a lot more action like that. But that is probably one of the oldest crappie baits on the market, and it's as good as any been made.
It sure is.
Buy you some and try them.
Back at the time this was developed, I'd say that long line trolling maybe wasn't something that was I'd even heard of.
Yes.
So at that time it was designed more for heavy cover.
Right.
But we've discovered it works fine on other jig heads and trolling and.
Very few products that make the grade are saying they're 30 years old. And that's one, so it speaks for itself.
It's been around a while.
Yes, sir. It's a good bait.
There's been no changes to this grub here.
Don't need to make none to it neither. It's good.
Except new colors.
That's it, and more colors.
There's more action coming up. Stay tuned. Catching crappie is great fun, unless you hang up all the time. Check this out, the Slider Crappie Grub. It's designed to be fished deep in the middle of heavy cover without hanging up. The specially designed head slides over brush. There's less aggravation and less lost baits. The Slider Crappie Grub is super soft with an action vibratail to trigger strikes. Perfect for casting, trolling, and vertical fishing. Lots of great colors, too. Fish the Slider Crappie Grub and put more fun into crappie fishing. Now, let's join today's host in the classroom.
Charlie, we talked earlier in the show about making these prototypes to shoot these docks for these crappie and panfish and stuff. I said, how about show me how you cut these things down and make them?
Okay, we'll do that. And Whitey was telling me he always shooting the docks. He got a lot more experience on that than I do. He usually shoots like a 64th of an ounce. But basically, we're doing a prototype of our 2-inch crappie grub we've got now, and which is about half size. Don't have it available yet, but I'm gonna take one and sort of make it. I'll just cut it in half, like that, and I'll make it a little more like how it's gonna look. I'm gonna kind of melt the end down. Whoa. Anyway.
It'll round it off, and is what you're gonna have.
Yeah. Basically, this grub right here is going to be about half the size of our normal grub, and the end of it would be more rounded, so it would be in proportion to the grubs we got now. But you take this little thing and just take a little 64th ounce head, and for shooting these docks, and just thread that head on there, and you got something real small. And to make it even better, put a drop of super glue on that,
right,
and it won't slip off.
Yeah, I noticed this morning we put a drop on each one of these.
Yeah, and this is a little bigger than some of them we made.
Right.
Where's some of those others? Right here.
Yeah, that's
you look at this one here, and
morning.
we've got 2 or 3 others here we made up. And I started doing this a year or so ago, fishing for bluegill, middle of the summer, and I mean, this was excellent for bluegill because they fall so slow in the water that they just can't leave them alone. And Whitey said that's exactly what he needs for shooting docks. He needs something real lightweight, shoot it up under the docks, and he wants it to hang and fall real slow. And I think maybe this right here might do the trick.
Well, that's the reason we use that 4 and 6 pound test line, because you want it to go down slow. You want something light because your bait's light, so you need a light line where you can shoot and project that thing up under the dock as far as you can. But I believe that'll be the deal right there. Let's use them today and see what we can do with them.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and looking forward to learning from Whitey here just exactly how he shoots those docks and learn a new trick from him. So let's go do it.
All right, so let's go.
Okay.
The reason we're catching a few more now is the time of the afternoon.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking, time of day.
Yeah, that's a small one there.
I actually think it gets better as
it gets later in the evening.
It gets later. But different angle on that sun.
The fish move under these docks for the sun, to get in the shade and all. And then later on in the afternoon, it's the feeding time, so you got the fish already pinpointed where they're holding.
Got it.
Oh, look at that. And they wanted to get out the water quick. He's a little feisty devil. See, they small, but they fun to catch just the same, ain't they?
There's a hit.
Had a hit.
I get home by myself, I'm gonna do a lot of practicing.
Practicing?
And what you're doing, I'm watching you now.
Sit in the den and watch TV at night and take it and shoot the doorknob on the house. That's what I do. You got to watch that line. I mean, you really got to watch the line.
Lightweight, right? The lighter the better.
You want it to float down easy. There it is right there.
There you go.
That's a catfish there, boys.
Catfish?
Catfish, can you believe that? That's the kind of them little points that'll ruin your hand through them little squealers. Man. Get him away. And don't even want that around his dock. That'll show you right there. We've caught bass today. We've caught brim, catfish, crappie. That tells you right there, shooting docks, you can catch anything.
That's right.
And it ain't always the size that makes the day. Catching numbers of fish and throwing them back and keeping just what you need to eat, putting the rest back, that's the name of the game.
Yeah, all about having fun.
And bringing kids. I believe if you can't bring a kid, if you got children, you need to bring him or her. Keep them outside, there's nothing right there.
Mm-hmm.
You need to keep them kids outside, fishing, hunting. I'm a firm believer that keeps them out of trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, my father and mother brought me when I was a kid. I ain't saying I'd have been in jail or nothing by now if they didn't, but I'm saying it taught me a lot. A fella with a name like Outlaw, he's got to do good because everybody expects the worst out of him anyhow.
There's more action coming up. Stay tuned.
I've been down here to Neely Henry and fished several tournaments, a good many tournaments. And as far as the people in Gaston, Alabama, they're finer people as you want to deal with. I mean, you don't meet no strangers, you don't meet no people that's hard to get along with. They're glad you're here. They're glad to take care of you at the motels, the restaurants and stuff. There's some real good people down here around this lake. Yeah, another little old fella.
You have a lot of your tournaments here on this lake, don't you?
Yes, sir. The town of Gaston has been great to Crappie USA. I mean, this has provided a lot of good tournaments. We've met a lot of friends down here. Had a lot of good times on this lake. And the Chamber of Commerce and all is glad to put the money up to have the tournaments. To put up the money to do these TV shows like we're doing here to show people what kind of fishing and how many fish a day you can catch on this lake. All right, they're getting mighty small now. What's the problem? You done jinxed me up there?
You thinned them out.
I just scratched it right now. I ain't got back in there good. I can't shoot up under them boards.
I've never seen anybody fish like that.
I found out over the years fishing different docks and stuff all over the country. You take that pole and stick it down inside that pile, and I don't know what it does to the fish, but if they're kind of slow biting, it'll make them aggressive as it can be for some reason. But I like to have a minnow, a live bait on there. It makes a big difference if you got a live bait on there.
Now, you only got 6 inches line hanging out the end of the rod.
Yes, sir. Just a few, but I'm running it right down inside that pole. On a floating dock, that's what we do. We stick it up to the handle and run that thing under a floating dock. If them fish are there and they're aggressive, they'll take it right on from you. I'm gonna turn the boat and kind of ease up beside this thing here.
Now, if you catch a 3-pound bass, how you gonna get him out of there?
I don't know. It ain't always easy to get him out, but you can catch him. Yeah, it ain't always easy to get him out, but you can catch him like that.
That's something else. Let's do that again. Show me that again.
I don't know if I can do it again. Let me
You got
back
what,
up.
about a 3-inch slot you're putting that through?
Yes, sir. I just usually try to get about 7, 8 to 10 inches under there. Just stick it up under there. And let my rod down. Kind of pull it along. You ain't doing much more than just casting it.
Look at that.
I missed that one.
I saw it in line twig.
Yeah.
Don't really have much room to set the hook, do you?
Nelson, you got to kind of watch that fish on there.
Look at that, look at that.
Come on out of there. You ain't got much room to set the hook off play. You got to. I like doing that with a 10-foot B&M rod, a little bit better than the 12. But it works just the same. With a minnow on there, I mean, he'll load that rod up pretty good.
There you
Got
go.
it? Yep, there's another.
There
You got
it
it right
is.
there. That's a good fish there now.
Woo.
That's the
He
best
gonna
one
run
yet, I
around the
believe.
boat. You're going the wrong way.
Come on around with him.
Come on around.
Let's
here.
see him. That's a good one being caught right there today now.
That's a good one. It sure is.
Yep.
Man, that's a nice one. Look at that.
Yes, sir, that is a good fish. That's a nice hen there. Look how big she is through there.
That's I sure wish we could catch them like that all day.
Yes, sir, that's a good Alabama crappie there now. There ain't a sore or nothing on that fish, no way. He's in good shape, good shape. But Charlie, we've caught a lot of fish today, and I've enjoyed having you on the show. Maybe we can do it again.
Well, I've enjoyed it too.
Yes, sir. Maybe y'all learned a little bit today fishing Alabama, fishing on Neely Henry. We've been shooting docks today and fishing structure. Hope you learned a little bit. See you next week here on Crappie University. See you.